Did you know that chimpanzees are among the few animals other than humans that engage in organized warfare? In the dense forests of Africa, these intelligent primates engage in strategic battles that are not just random skirmishes, but calculated conflicts. Often, these wars are waged over vital resources and territories, mirroring the very human act of conflict over land and power. These confrontations can be intense, with chimpanzees planning attacks and forming alliances, much like human military strategies. Now let's dive into a real-life saga that highlights the intensity of these animal confrontations. Our story begins in the lush forests of Tanzania's Gombe Stream National Park. In this tranquil setting, a dramatic and violent story unfolded in the early 1970s, one that would challenge our understanding of our closest animal relatives: chimpanzees. The Gombe Chimpanzee War stemmed from a schism within a community of chimpanzees that had once been united. The community split into two factions, the Kasekela and the Kahama. What followed was a 4-year conflict that was as strategic as it was brutal. It began subtly. Small skirmishes and displays of aggression escalated into organized attacks. The Kasekela, the larger group, began to encroach on Kahama territory, systematically targeting isolated individuals. These weren't random acts of violence, but calculated assassinations that reduced the Kahama numbers significantly. Jane Goodall, who had been studying these chimpanzees since the early 1960s, observed these events with a mix of horror and scientific fascination. Until this point, the prevailing view was that chimpanzees were mostly peaceful, with aggression being an exception rather than a norm. The Gombe War shattered these notions, showing that chimpanzees could engage in premeditated conflict and territorial conquest. The war culminated with the complete annihilation of the Kahama faction, a sobering end that highlighted the stark realities of chimpanzee life. This brutal conflict reveals the complexity of chimpanzee social structures and their startling similarities to human behaviors. Fast forward to the early 2000s in the depths of Uganda's Kibale National Park. Here, amidst the dense foliage and towering trees, the Ngogo chimpanzee community was making history. Known for its unusually large size, this community had over 150 members, a formidable force in the primate world. The Ngogo chimpanzees were not just numerous, they were strategic warriors. They engaged in coordinated attacks that were almost militaristic in their precision. These weren't random skirmishes, but well-planned operations aimed at territorial expansion. By strategically targeting weaker neighboring groups, they gradually expanded their domain, securing more resources and space for their community. One notable incident involved a series of coordinated dawn raids. These were not impulsive acts of aggression but calculated moves. The Ngogo chimpanzees would assemble into small, agile teams at the crack of dawn. Stealthily they moved through the underbrush, encircling their targets with a silence that belied their numbers. Once in position, they struck swiftly, overwhelming their opponents with sheer force and numbers. The outcome was usually the same: an expansion of territory and a retreat by the rival group. These battles were a testament to the Ngogo chimpanzees' complex understanding of warfare and strategy. They knew the terrain, they could coordinate among large numbers, and they understood the element of surprise. These battles not only showcase the strategic capabilities of chimpanzees but also their ability to work collectively for a common goal. The world of our closest genetic relatives is more complex and fascinating than many of us might imagine. As we've seen, chimpanzees have social structures and conflicts that eerily mirror our own, shedding light on the primal nature of conflict and community. For more insights into the astonishing lives of animals, from the depths of the ocean to the canopies of the rainforest, make sure to subscribe to the Marbella channel. Join us on the Marbella channel and never miss another tale from the wild. Subscribe today.